We are worried because with the crisis, one obvious effect has been how national borders have become less permeable than they were. And for science, for higher education, that is just a very, very problematic development. So, but we also see how universities have responded very quickly to this situation. And I think we will develop more sustainable international ways of internationalizing and connecting our students and our staff to each other and to other stakeholders in society. And I think the most recent example of the university alliances that also the University of Oslo has been really engaged with demonstrate how we can use the imagination of the institution in order to find new ways of cross-disciplinary and cross-institutional and cross-national contact and networks that we can establish.
There are many aspects that are somewhat specific to Europe. Of course, we do not quite know what's going to emerge from also the dynamics that is now involved in the European university of this initiative that comes 30 years after Erasmus, and Erasmus probably has transformed Europe significantly in terms of the impact on students, and it remains to be seen what the impact of this European university will have. Probably it may be transformative as much as the Erasmus program has been.
I hope that the European universities, this alliances network, will be a kind of a safe place to try out things with universities that you're working close with in a network. But I really, really hope it doesn't stay there. I do hope that all of us are using the existing networks, I would say the Guild, but also Coimbra and European Universities Association, that there are so many existing networks that we can actually exchange experiences, because otherwise if these alliances become tight clubs, I don't think it's beneficial for our students in the long run. And particularly, I don't think it's good for Europe, because I think it's very important that we're open to the world and that universities can be a part of keeping the borders open. Like knowledge doesn't know any borders, and that we continue to have international partnership. We work with mobility. So even in nations, if they try to close, I think the academia should actually guarantee an openness within Europe, but also worldwide. I think it's extremely important role we have as universities and also within academia, absolutely.
It will become extremely important for European institutions to look to other parts of the world in addition to the cooperation that we traditionally have with the North American institutions. And the initiative that we now see in how we relate to the African continent is really important, with lots of promise. Capacity building in a new way in international collaborations between European institutions and African institutions will be extremely important. And to make these kinds of connections sustainable, to have investments in African higher education will be important for the future of European universities, I'm sure. That's going to be really an important factor also in developing the African continent and towards also becoming African knowledge societies. Having not only investments in research and higher education, but also strengthen their institutional capacity and make it possible for African younger researchers to have careers in institutions in Africa as well, and develop the connections between comprehensive universities in Europe and comprehensive research-led universities on the African continent. Because it comes back to the issue of the role that we can play, that universities, comprehensive research-led universities play in not only in economic development, but also in democratic development. And the role that these institutions can play needs to be embedded in proper, firm institutional capacity of these institutions, and the quality of universities will be extraordinarily important for the quality of the court systems in African countries, in public administration, in the health sector, and in the educational sector.